Hello and welcome to our online information webinar. My name is Tomás Russell. I'm Programme Director for the Masters in Agricultural Extension and Innovation at University College Dublin. And I'm joined here today by two of our graduates, Kathleen and Hugh, who's an entrepreneurial specialist with the UCD Innovation Academy, and Hugh Larkin, who's an agri-environmental consultant with CLW. So we'll have an opportunity to talk to Kathleen and Hugh in a minute and talk about their experience on the programme. But first, I want to give you a quick overview of the Masters in Ag Extension and what you might expect from it. So just to start off, what is the focus of the programme? So really the focus of the Masters in Ag Extension Innovation is on supporting farmer behaviour change, on farmer learning and advisory strategies. So students who come through the programme will be looking for skills and knowledge to become more effective in supporting farmers, develop their farm business, change behaviour and develop innovation at farm level. So a variety of different skills, but one of the main focus is if you're interested in a position working with farmers or in the area of agriculture to support change. So a quick overview of the structure of the programme. The current programme we have in UCD is a one-year taught programme. So that's spread across 3 trimesters. So you'd start in September and then finish the end of August. So 1 full year in UCD. The programme comprises of 90 credits of academic modules. These include a 30 credit minor thesis. And I'll go through the different credits and modules in a minute. We also have placement opportunities with AHDB, which is the Agriculture and Horticulture Development Board in the UK. And this year we have a placement opportunity with Microsoft Ireland. So as I said, a quick overview of the structure of the programme. So I suppose one of the big questions we always get asked is, what will you learn? So we're always looking at evaluating and changing the programme. At the minute we have a number of core modules, and this is really around ensuring students get a good grasp of how you can support farmers and the key skills required within that. So the core modules are agricultural extension and innovation, project management in agricultural extension, group approaches in agricultural extension, which focuses around group facilitation, understanding the family farm business, design thinking for agricultural innovation, research methods 1 and 2, and a minor thesis. We then have scope for a number of optional modules that students can select based on their particular interests. We have animal production modules, if students are interested in beef or sheep or dairy or upskilling in them areas, modules on grassland and grassland management, environmental aspects, hedgerow management, and all aspects of environmental resource management. We have modules in mental health and ensuring that students are capable of supporting farmers with mental health. Also modules around sustainable agriculture, economics and sociology. So this is not a fully inclusive list. We have many other optional modules. And students have the option of selecting a 5 credit module from across the university as well. Again, something that might be of interest to the particular student. So just quickly, some of the career opportunities from the programme. A lot of our graduates will go into agriculture advisory. We have many graduates in media, in education, in sales, in finance, agricultural mediation, in research, in journalism, and a variety of other career opportunities. One of them, as I mentioned earlier on, the main focus of the programme is on farmer behaviour change and innovation and understanding how we can best support change. So a lot of the career opportunities will be what we might call front-facing roles, whether it's facing students, whether it's facing farmers, whether it's in the media writing articles or supporting farmer change. So really, if people are interested in a job and dealing with people, then this is the Masters for them. So quickly then, are you eligible? To be eligible for the programme, you must have a minimum of a 2-2 degree in a range of academic qualifications, including life sciences, humanities, arts and business. So you don't necessarily have to have a degree in agriculture. We have students on the course and graduates who come from a range of different academic backgrounds. Applicants whose first language is not English must also demonstrate English language proficiency from the tests. Also, students must be interested and motivated to support farmer learning and decision making. So a very important point to note with this as well is A lot of students might be interested in coming on our programs to work with agricultural advisory services, whether they're in Irish or abroad. So it is important to check the eligibility of these organizations in terms of recruitment. A lot of these might require students have basic science subjects and also basic animal husbandry subjects. So we don't have the opportunity to offer all of those subjects. So just to check that in advance. So now that we've covered a quick overview on the program, I might go and talk to our two graduates. So I might start with Kathleen. Kathleen, you might tell us a small bit about yourself and why you chose the Masters in Agricultural Extension and Innovation.
Well, thank you, Tomas. Thank you so very much. And Hugh, I look forward to hearing from you as well. I'm delighted to be here and delighted to represent our major and our master's program in agriculture extension and innovation. There's some really exciting things that happened for me that brought me here. I had a long career as an entrepreneur, as a management consultant. I started my career as a journalist. I have done a lot of really neat things, but I got to the point in my life where I was looking for that next, what's that next? And to take all of the learning that I had and kind of package it and use it differently. What else did I need to learn for this next phase of life? And I really looked hard and long. For almost 3 full years. I evaluated programs all around the United States, all around the world, taking a look and seeing what's available, what's out there. And when I found the Agriculture Extension and Innovation program, I knew right away that it really struck exactly what I was looking for, that how to inform, how to educate, how to develop skills in agriculture people and all kinds of people from many different walks of life. How do we do that? How do we do it better? That really drew me to the program. And I decided that I would leave Indiana and come here to do my master's studies. And I was very, very grateful to do it.
Great, thanks very much, Kathleen. So Hugh, you might give us a quick overview of, tell us a bit about your background and why you decided to do the Masters in Ag Extension and Innovation at UCD.
Yeah, Tomas, so my name's Hugh Larkin, I'm from County Monaghan. Before the Masters, I studied Agri-Environmental Science in UCD, which was a 4-year long course. And when my 4 years were up, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do and what area I wanted to work in. And this Masters was advertised within the college, and I looked into it and got an interest and was speaking to people who would have done the Masters the year before me. And they all had very positive reviews about it. And from reading more into it, I could see that it would help me get a career in the area that I would have liked to be in, which was advisory. And so I applied for it, and lucky enough I got it. And after completing the year of it, I was able to help me a lot to get a job in agricultural advisory.
Brilliant. And I think one of the unique things about our two graduates here today is they're two very diverse and interesting roles. So maybe Kathleen, if you might give us an overview of how the Masters supported you in getting your current role.
I think the Masters was absolutely necessary for me to obtain the role I'm in. I work in the UCD Innovation Academy. And so it's here that we develop mindsets, we use design thinking processes, we look at ways to solve problems, find multiple solutions, and actually come up with some really unique ideas by going through things in a new way. If I hadn't had the Masters, I would not have had the experience nor the background to necessarily pursue my current position. And I think just the exposure and the experience, the people and the timing all worked out very, very well. And I was really delighted to have that chance.
Brilliant. And Kathleen, you actually teach some of the students on the program now. So you've gone from the student to being the teacher.
Absolutely. And that's really exciting. You know, you talk about things you can do with this major. It's really exciting because there are so very many opportunities, because it's about considering people, understanding where they're coming from, helping listen and make human-centric decisions and choices and inform people on so many new levels. And the program itself lends itself to helping us listen and learn and share better, more effectively. And that's what it's going to take to innovate forward in agriculture.
Brilliant. And Hugh, your background is in environmental science and you're now working as an agri-environmental consultant. So I suppose, how did the Masters help you to get your current role?
Well, from completing the undergrad, I sort of knew that there would have been a lot of competition for jobs in the agricultural industry, and it would have been difficult to get a job just straight in that area of consultancy or advisory just straight out of college. So with the Masters, it definitely helped me get the job, because not only did it sort of back up what I learned in it, backed up my undergrad degree, but I would have learned new skills within the Masters through the modules that we took part in. And even at job interviews, it was always the Masters that the employers were interested in me speaking to them about, and what I learned through that. And I suppose a lot of the modules would have been to do with communication with farmers and all that end of things as well, which was something that wasn't included in the undergrad. So that definitely would have helped me get the job in the first place. And as I progressed in my job, I can still see that coming into play. The different things that I would have learned through the Masters are definitely helping me out with the job now.
That's brilliant. Thanks for that, Hugh. So I'm going to put both of you in the spot now, maybe, and ask you a bit of a tricky question. If you were to give me one highlight of your program or of your time in UCD studying the Masters, what might that be? So Kathleen, I might start with you.
No question, no problem. That's an easy one, Tomas. I think the answer is the people. For me, the Masters of Ag Extension and Innovation was really, really brilliant at bringing people together. We had a wonderful diversity of age, of home countries. We had different skills and experience. We had people from such broad and diverse backgrounds, from small farms and to large operations, to business ventures, entrepreneurialists, and I think that that diversity, that that multidisciplinary exposure of this program is so enriching and has vitalized my my life professionally and personally. And I really, without a doubt, respect that and appreciate that. And it was the student body, but in addition to Tomas, it was the faculty themselves that take an interest in the students and helped make sure that everyone had exposure and experience to different types of scenarios, and got us out into rural Ireland and got us out and connected and helped us engage and work together with one another. But those experiences are priceless, and that was really, truly one of the highlights of the entire program for me.
That's great. Thanks, Kathleen. And I think that is one of the benefits of the program, is we have a variety of students coming from a variety of different backgrounds and a variety of different areas. So we do emphasize the importance of learning from each other as well as learning from the program. So Hugh, I might go to you if you were to give us one highlight of your experience in the Masters.
Yeah, well, first of all, I suppose, Tomas, I'd have to completely back up everything Kathleen has just said. It was just the whole environment within the Masters was definitely great to be a part of, and the connections I would have made throughout that. But other than that, I was lucky enough to be in the Masters on the first year where they had the placement opportunities with the AHDB in the UK. So I was lucky enough to get a place to go out and work with them for 2 months for a work placement in the summertime, and that definitely stands out in my mind as the highlight of the program, as we were taken out by AHDB and put up in accommodation out in England and given a role within their company, and at the same time we focused on our research project and carried out our research with them and with farmers in the UK, and got to travel the length and breadth of England, going to different events. Any event that they were hosting that we wanted to go to, there was no problem at all. We got to go to it, and it was from a mix of tillage events or dairy and beef, and anything you could have wanted to go to, we got to go to, and that definitely was the highlight of it for me anyway.
And Hugh, do you think that helped you as well with your employment, or getting your current position?
Yeah, it definitely did, Tomas, because it was another thing to put down on the CV as well at the same time, and it's another thing that sort of stood out, that leaving the country to work elsewhere and a different environment completely, and maybe different, you'd learn that different practices, and you can compare to take it home and compare to Irish farming, and it definitely would have been a standout, and it would have, as I said, it gave me another thing to talk about in job interviews, and it definitely would have helped me get the job that I'm in today. Yes, I definitely agree with that.
I do remember you telling me on your first day or second day out in England, you were down in the south of England in a soil pit with a group of farmers teaching about layers of soil.
Yeah, exactly. I was sort of thrown into the deep end on the first day. There were one of their advisors was called in sick, I think, and I was asked would I do a bit of soil demonstrations for them, but it was a great way to learn. Like the things that I learned, it was sort of, I knew what I was going to say the night before, and the things I learned, and they're still in my head today, and it was a great way to be able to be thrown in at the deep end, and got the opportunity to speak to farmers and get my first real taste of that. So that was another good experience from it.
Brilliant. Sometimes no harm to be dropped in the deep end. I might also ask the two of you, again, both of you have very diverse positions out of this in your current employment, but maybe if you'd have an idea of some of your colleagues who have completed the program, where they have ended up at the minute. Maybe Kathleen, would you like to start? Would you know where any of your colleagues on the program have ended up, or what type of jobs they're in?
I can tell you almost every one of them from our crew, Tomas. We all keep in touch. It's that kind of connection that you're able to make. And I have friends that are doing ag development and banking in South Africa. I have friends that are working in extension in Malawi. I have friends that are working near Beijing in agri-development from the program. Have friends in America that are working in viticulture and in the apple industry. But like you say, I have friends all over Ireland that are doing some really amazing things with community development, with the Leader program, with running their own business and enterprise here in rural Ireland as well. And some amazing dairy farmers that are leading the way in dairy innovation here in Ireland as well. So like I say, I think the networking opportunities that we have, and we all continue to work together, connect to one another, keep in touch. And by doing so, everyone's network is expanded. And I think the networking opportunities that we have made by working together, knowing one another and learning together has been absolutely amazing.
And how about you, Hugh? I think there was a wide variety of graduates in your year of the program. Would you have an idea of where they've ended up?
Yeah, so my year would have been, I think, it would have been a slightly larger year than Kathleen's, but I don't think they travelled as far over across the world as hers seem to have had. Many of them are working kind of the same as me with private consultancy firms. There's another couple of guys working in sales, at graduate programs as well. A couple of my classmates took part in those, and they're kind of most of them would have been jobs that you wouldn't have been able to get without the masters too. So it speaks for itself the way, and I think actually everyone was employed nearly a couple of weeks after the masters finished up, or most people had something lined up or had employment within a couple of weeks or months after completing it. So that sort of speaks for itself too with the masters.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thanks very much for that. So I suppose finally, there's probably a load of people out there listening that are trying to decide whether this is the Masters for them. So would you have one quick piece of advice that you'd give anyone thinking about this Masters, maybe what their next step should be, or if they should go for it or not? Maybe Kathleen, would you have any piece of advice for them?
I think do your homework, look inside you. What do you want to get out of this? What do you want to get out of the experience? But mostly be willing to try, because this is a great program and a really great set of people that are here and willing to help, and you'll learn, you'll be challenged, you'll be asked to do things, but you have the support in the background that you need to really give things a go in a good way and in good spirits, and it makes a big difference to have that kind of support. The program being a year long is really effective for a lot of us. You can press an awful lot of learning into 1 year, but that's very, very valuable and a huge return on investment for you, because many other comparable programs take quite a bit of time, even double or even triple in some regards, the length of time that it takes to do this program. But I think you get equally as much or more out of this one by the way it's structured and the nature of the instruction. So I really encourage you to give it a go. It's a great program. And when it comes to teaching and leading and learning and fostering growth and development in communities, I think there's no better program.
Thanks, Kathleen. And hopefully anyone who's comes on the program next year will have the opportunity to meet Kathleen as well in the Innovation Academy. Maybe final word then from you, Hugh. Is there any piece of advice you'd give any students considering this program?
Yeah, well, I suppose if you want to get a head start in your career and want to be at an advantage to others going for jobs in the agricultural industry, it's a great way to get yourself out there and stand out from the rest of the crowd. And as Kathleen said, the fact that it's only a year long, like maybe if you thought that you were after 4 years of college or however long you spent in it before that, if you thought, oh, not another year, believe me, the year flies by. And even now it doesn't seem like it was a year ago for me since I was heading off to England, but it was definitely the way it went so quick. It just sort of shows you time flies when you're having fun, I suppose. So that's another good thing to say about it.
Yep, and thanks very much for that, Hugh. So I just want to say thanks very much to Kathleen and to Hugh for joining me today to talk about the programme. For anyone else that's interested in more information, you can log on to ucd.ie/agfood. We do generally every year have a number of supported programmes, and again, more information is available for them at ucd.ie/agfood, as well as all the information on this programme and the programme descriptors and details on how to apply. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you found it very informative.